Ba, 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 ba.
Ba-dup, ba-dup, do-do-do-do-do.
Ba, 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 ba,
Doo-doop,
ba.
doo-doop, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Ba, 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 ba.
Three guys and a bear are recording late at night,
That's
and
really
Rob
late.
matched the energy
Beep, beep.
perfectly. Ba-do-do-do-do.
It's late. We're old. It's
It's
8 p.m.
late. It's way too late.
Well,
7 p.m. Are you kidding me?
Consider
Explain yourself,
listen,
Krendor. What have you done to
Consider
us?
you guys old, because I usually am eating lunch by now.
Mister,
That's-
I usually wake up at noon.
Yeah,
This
well, listen,
motherfucker-
we got
How
Your
do you
your
do
bowels
that?
don't yell at you at 8 o'clock every morning to say, "Hey, motherfucker, it's time
Yeah,
to go."
because you're older than me, and I feel like I've
Yeah.
hit the age where I cannot stay up late anymore. It's gone. Those days are over.
I think I'm just
Yeah.
a night person. I
I
genuinely
mean, I
think
guess
so.
so. Yeah, I mean, you're
Like-
usually streaming late at night, so that makes sense.
Yeah, like even my grandfather that lived to 95 years old, he'd stay up till like 2 a.m. So I think it's
He
just
was a
in my
gamer.
genetic- Yeah, dude, he's a
That-
gamer.
yeah, no, that was me with the Halo series, like from high school to college and a few years beyond. But like, yeah, no, I've since very much grown out of that.
Well,
I will-
you're supposed to like need less sleep as you get older, but I guess there's this transitionary period in the 30s and 40s where it's like, nah, chief, I can't be doing that.
I mean, how much sleep do you get? Here's the thing. Everyone's like, you wake up at noon, but I would go to bed at like 4:30. All right, and then I get up at noon. It's like 7.5 hours, and I do that. consistently.
That's not the amount's clearly not the issue. It's just everyone lives
Yeah.
on a different timeline. You've clearly just adapted into your little
Yeah.
routine here. It's all good.
I go to bed at like 11 and wake up at like 7 or 8 usually.
I know we're supposed to be outraged about it because we're a football podcast, but
Mhm.
we're
Listen, I'm
obligated
just
to
saying,
turn everything
my
into a
sleep
hot take.
quality's good. All right, I'm consistent. Honestly, I think
I'm not-
consistency is important.
Yeah.
I don't think that like I am saying you're wrong. I'm just upset with you. You should be on our level, you know. The
That's fair enough.
tiniest
You're
bit of
operating at a
sunlight
superior.
should
form
crack
of-
through the
Yeah.
blinds and you should be like a fucking like vampire. You know, just like it's
Mhm.
To be fair, I had to do it today, and it was it was rough. So I'm running on I only slept like 4.5 hours, 4 hours. I don't know.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah,
it's rough.
yeah.
That's rough.
Football?
That's rough, I've heard.
Football. It's rough.
Football.
That's-
Did you guys
that's
know this is a
rough.
football podcast?
Football.
I heard.
Football
Are you talking about football?
Playoff.
Paul, can I
Playoffs.
introduce? Can I start this podcast by listing out the week 2 divisional leaders because it's really funny. When
Oh
you do
yeah,
this
it's
on
pretty
week
fantastic.
2. Yeah. So just let me quickly the two obvious ones: the Buffalo Bills. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. The Houston Texans. Yeah.
Makes
And
sense.
then we get a little weird. The New Orleans Saints. Okay.
yeah.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh.
Oh no. The Seattle Seahawks. What?
What the-
That's, the LA Chargers. Hello.
That
The
makes sense, though.
Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
And this is my favorite. The Washington Commanders.
Yep. Classic NFC East.
Yep.
This
those
is-
are
this
your
is a
week
pretty-
2
Phenomenal week 2 standings.
divisional leaders. Of course, it's a little weird with tiebreakers and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
just fun. It's just a fun little thing, you know?
Yeah. Early on, it's always pretty fun. Just
And
seeing
did you
everything
know
crazy.
that's two of those teams are headed by Jets QBs.
That is true.
Yeah,
Right.
previous horrible Jets QBs that are now good enough to lead teams to 2-0.
Yeah.
New York QB factory, turns out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for themselves.
Yep.
They give everyone else quarterbacks. So here we go. Football. Let's just jump right into it. We had Bills Dolphins.
Oh, there's no news section?
Oh yeah,
I thought
news.
for sure we'd have at least news.
Yeah,
we
come on.
have news.
No,
Tua
don't just go
Tagovailoa.
find news.
I'll start. Tua Tagovailoa placed on IR.
Oh,
which
that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not common for a concussion victim to be put on IR. That's usually it's victim. I didn't know what word to use, and I was like,
no, I mean,
victim is the first word that came to my head. I paused. You can go back and listen. I paused, and I'm like, is victim the right word? Well, I'm out of time. I gotta send it.
It makes it sound like there's like a serial concussor out there just walking around with like a club.
It's the NFL, brother. It's just what it is.
He's a concussion sufferer, I guess, which is just kind of a mouthful to say anyway.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, after last year when I had my concussion, I guarantee it wasn't even as bad as an NFL concussion, and that shit was still terrible.
Yeah,
and he's had what 5 now that we know of,
in like 3 years.
Like we underplay it because it's so common in the NFL, but it is a serious injury.
Yeah.
But he's off for at least 4 weeks minimum,
which is probably good for him, I would say.
I'm terrible for the Dolphins.
Yeah, terrible.
I'm gonna be honest.
Season ending for the Dolphins.
The talk of the town this week was like every NFL head was calling for him to retire. Like, it's gotten that bad for him now.
Well, apparently what happens when you start getting concussions is that subsequent concussions become easier.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of true of any injury, really, but especially concussions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, and he's at the point now where it's like he's getting... Like, on the play that he got injured on, it was him lowering his shoulder, but, like, it was
entirely his fault.
It was, but you know, like, the hit that he actually ended up sustaining is not one that
normally would
concusses.
Do that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't see NFL players getting concussed on plays like that a lot. So, you know, I think he should. He's a millionaire, you know? Why not?
There's 2 things. You can say he should retire because it's like he's injured too much now, but we don't really know that. We don't know if the concussions that he's... I mean, it's likely.
I mean, I know what
how concussions work, but
he was laying on the ground fencing for minutes at a time.
Exactly.
Multiple times.
I think more importantly, like, and something I think we all know for sure is that he should retire because he clearly can't protect himself. Like, this is a recurring issue. He either refuses or does not know how to play this game in a way that will not cause him harm.
He reminds me of RG3 in that way, actually.
You don't have to be a doctor to know this. Like, you can just watch him. Like, this is not something that's common. This many severe concussions.
Well, I know the fencing response from what I watched from YouTube Doctor Man. So it's 100% accurate. Is that the fencing response doesn't necessarily mean it's like a terrible concussion. That's just, it can happen with concussion. So like some guy might also get a concussion that just goes to the sidelines and his concussion is like just as bad. So it's just like, it just looks worse because, you know, you're like, oh God, like what are they doing? But I mean, listen, you look at like some of the quarterbacks back in the day that kept playing, like Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
Like some of those dudes, like Brett Favre. Dude, I saw one injury report for Brett Favre. It was like 30 injuries, and I guarantee his concussion brain was in full force at that point. It's still going, by the way, that concussion brain for Brett Favre.
It wasn't an injury at that point. It was called getting your bell rung.
Yeah. So the thing is, he just has to take the time while he's on the IR and just like think about it for like his family, like everything, and be like, is this what I want to keep doing? Like, what am I going to do? And I think that's kind of one of the reasons they did that.
And another news piece I can provide here is not so much news so much as it is a point of notice in that the league is trying to ban and penalize hip drop tackles.
Yep.
And we've had 5, all 5 of which were not penalized, 2 of which resulted in players becoming injured in some way.
Yeah.
So not doing a great job, NFL.
Yeah.
I think Joe Mixon was one of them. I don't remember the other person who got injured, but
yeah, Joe Mixon was one.
Wait, is Mixon out?
He's injured. I don't know if he's out.
Fuck. That was a fantasy emergency.
That was
tone of voice right there. 100%.
Yeah.
Another big news I forgot. Bryce Young has been benched.
Yeah.
That's massive.
It's our turn to be sad about Bryce Young. Man, it's just a bummer.
Like, I see him throw that interception in that one clip, and he just looks so defeated.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel bad for him, but I don't think I feel bad enough to not gloat that I said this would happen last season. Everyone was like,
got an I told you so in you.
Yeah, I gotta, because I was like, I don't think he's gonna be a starting quarterback. And I said like 3 years from now, man, I overshot by a lot.
I mean, this really strikes me as shades of AFC East kind of a decision. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, he looks horrible. Like it's not.
It's also
just
the Panthers, though.
Okay,
Yeah,
but that's
no,
the thing. You have to watch the tape. It's not a Panthers thing anymore. He actively is playing some of the worst quarterback play, regardless of offensive line receiver play. Like it's bad.
I was usually trying to play devil's advocate here and argue what you've been saying, Robin, that like, you know, the system he's in, like their owner obviously doesn't give a shit. There's all that. You can talk about it, but Paul's right. Like it's also largely in part to the fact that Bryce Young is just not ready for this level of play.
There's a reason he's been benched.
Admittedly, I haven't watched almost any Panthers.
There's not a lot to like about watching Panthers football.
You know, the one time I watched the Panthers against the Packers, they shredded our Joe Barry defense. I was like, wow, he might actually be good. And I was like, oh,
might be the only time he did that.
Yeah,
you want to point to like a quarterback in a bad system that could be good. I would say Caleb Williams, but I'm not going to say Bryce Young anymore.
Yeah. Probably another noteworthy bit of news was the Cooper Kupp injury as well. He's expected to go on IR for at least 4 to 6 weeks.
The Rams, I mean, it only took 2 weeks, and the same thing has happened to them as last year. Every single one of them. Matt Stafford is probably injured already too, and it's just Matt Staffording his way through it. Like,
he literally rolled his ankle in that one game.
Of course, dude. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, Rams, you got your Super Bowl. Thumbs up to you there. I do feel bad still, though, that they can't seem to play because they're a good team. Their offense is insane if it's healthy.
And they have a great head coach. I mean, Sean McVay's been lauded for years since he came in.
But I mean, it's just a nightmare scenario for them.
Speaking of injury news, there wasn't a new injury, but there was an injury update on an important player.
CMC.
Yeah.
He's on IR as well now.
Yeah, which is also crazy. Like he went from being like, he's probably gonna play, and I was like, no, he's gone a month. Like, oh my god, what?
It was Achilles tightness or something. What's going on with him?
I don't know.
Achilles tendonitis. Achilles tendonitis.
Which I don't blame them for not wanting to risk. You know,
you don't want to fuck around
a ruptured Achilles.
They're good without him.
Exactly. They don't need him to be playing
right now. On the bench till the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they could, honestly.
I like how Rob just sounded like some fan in the background.
This is his new character that chimes in every
We don't fucking need him in a regular, you know?
What are they doing?
I like that a lot.
Also, Deebo Samuel calf strain. He'll miss a couple weeks.
Yeah. See, we know news. We just have to remember.
Yeah.
It's late. I had one more kind of tangential bit that I just wanted to point out as well. So there's 9 teams that remain undefeated in the league so far through week 2, right?
Yep.
3 of which would be expected, I think. We got Bills, Chiefs, Steelers all, were expected to do fairly well. Maybe the Steelers less so. But then the remaining 6, you got the Chargers, the Texans, the Seahawks, Vikings, Saints, and Buccaneers, none of which I would think any of us would have picked to be 2-0 at this point.
Yeah.
That's great news. I mean, the most surprising team is easily it's either the Vikings or the Saints. Those are the 2 teams that are the most shocking. Yes,
I will say I'm gonna gloat later on, but I'm not not by the Vikings at all.
I'm surprised they beat the Niners. That's what I'm surprised about.
I almost locked that game. And then thank God I didn't.
We'll get to that, but
that's
Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday night game.
Also, I just saw one final quick thing. Kirk Cousins admits. Kirk Cousin, his doppelganger, admits he's not 100%, as we all could have guessed.
And then every quarterback in the league was like, "Join the club."
Yep. All right. Thursday night football. Well, Tua got hurt, but we already talked about that. However, this game was like 30 something to 10.
It was bad before Tua got hurt.
It was already bad. So
no, that's why he kind of did what he did. Honestly, is because they were so far behind, and he was like trying to.
Yeah, I mean, he was turning the ball over horribly too.
Yeah,
he was having a bad game. It was a bad to worse kind of game.
Yeah.
Achane though was their offense. Thank God, because he got me 30 points in fantasy.
He'll be their offense for the year, continuing.
Yep.
You know?
The Bills are doing the thing the Chiefs did, where they got significantly worse in terms of players and are somehow better. I don't. The second time this has happened, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
Do you hate it? I hate this division.
One of the best corners in football has been one of the Bills, Christian Benford, who was the number 185 pick in the 2022 draft. He was ranked as like on PFR's like top 5 corners of the week.
Ding dong.
So that's pretty good. I think they've got some underrated players probably. I think they just have a lot of young guys that they didn't know about, and some of them are showing up.
They've been reloading.
Yeah. Also, the odd thing where the Tua injury happened, or what made it even weirder, was Damar Hamlin was the one who did it.
It
and
could
he
have
didn't really
been
do anything.
It really could have possibly been the situation that ended the NFL forever.
Yeah.
Like if things just went slightly worse than they did.
Yeah. But you feel bad for him. He was just standing there. He's like, dude, he just ran into me.
Yeah, he didn't really do anything.
And he really did. But yeah, I mean, Josh Allen, 13 of 19, 139 at the touchdown. He also, he only ran for 2 yards.
This was the James Cook show.
Yeah, James Cook went off 78 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then just good defense. So, listen,
they really didn't even have that many plays when you look at it. It's like they didn't need a lot of time to get the job done.
Yeah. So,
well, 3 interceptions also will help. I think
that will also help. Oh, yeah, Jamarcus.
It's actually
Ingram
kind of a wild disparity, dude. It's 40. They had 45 total plays to the Dolphins 75, and they won 31-10.
Yeah, that's wild. Actually,
that actually is. Yeah.
How common is that? I feel like
that's a crazy difference.
Yeah, that's usually not the case.
Yeah, usually
the time of possession is just as crazy. It's 13 minutes in favor of the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's honestly pretty wild. And they only got 10 points out of that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, crazy.
That game occurred, and it was a terrible one for Miami all around. Like just the game itself, the outcomes of players,
season ended.
The season.
Yeah, so, this was at home too. It must have been brutal to fucking watch as a home fan.
Dude, I want to mention, by the way, if Tua ends up retiring or whatever, I mean, even if he doesn't after this year, like I think the Dolphins just kind of blow up. If Tua is gone, like I don't think Tyreek is gonna want to stay, right? Like, and who else? Yeah. I feel like it'd be just an exodus.
Well, even if Tua comes back healthy later this year, are they a real threat? Like they won one decent game last year near the end of it all, and ultimately we're just kind of like X'd out of the playoffs without a lot of noise being made.
Well, the Dolphins did sign what's his name from the Ravens? Tyler Huntley.
Oh, okay.
Or Snoop Huntley, as he's called. So
is he?
He did play a playoff game.
Yeah, no, he was good in the couple of games that he was with the Ravens.
So you never know. I mean, he's got a good running back and good wide receivers. I mean, at that point, you just probably throw it up and just hope. I mean, if you play some bad
launch
teams,
it to Tyreek,
Yeah. Like if you play a team with a bad secondary, you just lob it up there, and you'll probably score like 30 points just doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, then we had the Vikings 49ers.
Yep.
And this was a football game that the 49ers, I don't know what the 49ers are, because it's like they killed the Jets, and then maybe the Jets are just bad, which is possible.
Yeah.
But Sam Darnold, 17 of 26.
Sam Darnold.
260. 2 TDs.
I'm just gonna say it right now.
All right.
2 games in. It's fucking Darnold season, baby.
Darnold season.
You're
when
almost...
I say Darnold, you say season. Darnold.
Season.
Darnold. This is from the fans in the back. In mind.
Yeah.
You're very nearly in I told you so range. Like one or two more games of this kind of level of play, and you've reached I told you so phase.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, honestly. Like and to reiterate my feelings on Sam Darnold, the Jets failed him. He always looked to me like a good, like he had genuine talent enough to be not only a starter but like a good starter in the NFL, but he just had nothing. Not just I'm not even just talking about personnel. I mean like coaching. They didn't have a fucking QB coach for him for like 2 years. Like it's a joke, and I'm glad to see him succeed, and I hope he
go to Carolina too.
Yeah,
that's also bad.
Yep,
he did. Yeah. But then he ended up in San Francisco, which I think was great for a single year, and now he has a starting spot in Minnesota, and
it feels very Geno season-esque, right? Like it's almost like this is his Seattle. Like he goes to a team that has actual weapons around them, and he's like, dude, I can throw them the ball and they make plays.
Yeah, dude, this is why when they were getting in fucking Robert Saleh and they booted Sam Darnold, that was like a fucking stupid decision. I think they should just stick with him and not draft a new QB who you don't know. And guess who it was? It was Zach fucking Wilson, who I will not be defending in the same way that I did Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I didn't really watch too much of this game. I did just see highlights, but I think Brock Purdy did okay.
Yeah.
Jordan Mason.
He did his Brock Purdy thing. I mean,
he did.
Yep.
Jordan Mason had a touchdown and 100 yards. Again, very good, which is wild. And then Debo is now hurt, but he had 110 yards. So Brandon Ayuk, 43 yards. He's still struggling a little out there.
Would hate to have drafted him in fantasy. That would be
good. And then just I don't know. It was a weird game. In fact, the Vikings beat San Francisco last year as well. Remember that? I think that was the Brock Purdy game where he got concussed and kept playing.
Wasn't the Minnesota Miracle against the?
That was the Saints.
That was the Saints. Okay,
and also Justin Jefferson, 133 and a touchdown this game, but he got hurt. But it seems that he is day-to-day with a quad injury.
Yeah, they need Justin Jefferson.
They need him. That's very
for it to continue to be Darnold's season.
We're talking about that. Yeah, exactly. Big contingent there.
Gonna need Justin Jefferson there on that one.
Well, speaking of Geno season,
let's go.
Geno
season.
Keep it going. Come on. Keep it. Good.
Seahawks beat the New England Patriots 23-20 in overtime.
Yeah, close game.
Man, dude, the Patriots, man, what the fuck?
I hate it.
They are such a mid team, and yet somehow way better than they're supposed to be.
Dude, I think it's safe to say they're above average right now, which is far from what anybody expected of them this year.
Yeah.
I think their defense is good and their offense is good enough. Is what
Ramondre Stevenson is legitimately pretty fucking good, dude.
Sleeper pick.
Dude, he ain't sleeping anymore. He woke up just like Dobbs. My sleepers wake up and then they're full blown awake.
Yep. That's how it works. Yeah, no, you're asleep at one point and then you're awake afterwards.
Jacoby Brisket.
The
Brisket.
brisket.
149 and a touchdown, pretty solid.
But I also want to say I have a soft spot for Jacoby Brissett. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I do
too.
Yeah, QB.
Geno had 327 yards and a touchdown. That is, and apparently he is the best quarterback under pressure, like against the blitz.
That's surprising. Damn.
Yeah, I saw that stat, which is wild.
Did they the Seahawks? I forget. Did they draft a QB?
Nope.
Oh, nice.
They're full-blown Geno season.
Geno.
Fair enough. Their running game is just like Zach Chardonnay or something. I don't know if he ran for 38 yards.
Well, I mean, Kenneth Walker normally, but he was injured this game.
That's right.
This year or this game.
But yeah, it was mainly DK Metcalf and JSN with 22 of the 33 catches. So
big shout out to DK for carrying me to victory in fantasy this week. Appreciate that, bud.
Yeah. We'll get to the fantasy segment later. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was. I didn't actually see the overtime of the game, but In fact, when I was watching games, I didn't even realize this one happened, and then I was like, "Wait, Seahawks Patriots." I was like, "Wow, overtime!" Like it just completely went over my head.
I don't think it was a particularly interesting game, all things considered.
Yeah.
But like it happened overtime.
It did.
Mm-hmm. Can we take a moment and talk about how the Patriots have a running back named Jermichael Hasty?
That is pretty great.
I think he was on the 49ers last year.
Was he really?
I
mean, it's a perfect running back name.
I mean, he's casting a spell on himself every time in the backfield.
Yeah, he gets to run twice.
Yeah.
Oh, he was on the 49ers in 2020 and 2021. Then he went Jacksonville, and then he went to New England. Okay. So yeah, honestly, both these teams pretty all right so far. I mean, Seahawks 2-0, it's pretty good.
Yep.
Then we had Commanders Giants in what was the field goal battle of a century.
Oh boy, dude, so really I'm sure y'all may have already seen it, but that's one of the funnest statistics of this week. I think this is the second instance in which a team has scored 3 touchdowns, allowed 0 touchdowns, and still lost the game, which is not a record you want to share with anyone.
If you don't love that, you don't love New York Giants football.
It looks like the Commanders scored 3 touchdowns. Like it just looks like it.
Yeah, it does.
But no, they get 7 field goals.
Yep. 7 field goals, including the game winner with no time on the clock.
Yep.
And Jaden Daniels, he went 23 of 29 for 226, and he also ran for 44 yards. Not bad. Funnily enough, none of the rookie quarterbacks have thrown a touchdown yet.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
We also had I had Brian Robinson Jr. in fantasy. He ran for 133 yards. He's running for quite a bit. Meanwhile, Daniel Jones actually threw 2 touchdowns. Surprising, and most of
his best game of the year so far of the 2.
Yeah, and it's not even close in terms of receiving. It's Malik Neighbors, 127 yards, 10 catches, and a touchdown. And the next closest receiving target, Darius Slayton, 33 yards, 3 catches. Like, it is, there's nobody else on this roster for catching the ball.
That's going to be my sleeper fantasy pick at the very least.
Yep.
Crazy how you keep saying how all my fantasy players did really well this week. It would be crazy if I lost or something.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. You'd have to go up against like someone that scored a bunch of points.
Yeah.
That's probably already talked about how many points they're getting.
I do like my points.
I'm gonna go drown myself a bit.
So yeah, this was a NFC East game, and it felt like one, and it's a Commanders win.
Yep.
Then we had Chargers, Panthers.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And
buddy, it is a mess. It's a mess. It's not funny anymore. It just sucks.
It's just bad.
Obviously there's the Bryce Young situation, but it's just the whole of Carolina right now. It's like what do you hope for? What's your best outcome right now?
Number 1 pick.
I guess. At least they've got that this year, for fuck's sake. Like,
yeah.
This is like beyond a rebuild. This is like this is starting over as a franchise. I'd say again, I think that's their best case scenario is being able to do that. Is getting rid of the owner and just resetting.
Yeah,
and it's like I don't know what's wrong. I need to like watch a Panther game just to like see, or I need to do something.
It's not just something; it's everything, man.
Yeah, a lot of it is Bryce Young though too.
I feel like a lot of it has to be Bryce Young.
I don't think Dalton's going to do any better, dude. I
think he might.
Maybe a little, but
I think Dalton is going to do significantly better.
Really? Okay.
I do.
That's interesting.
I don't.
You know what? I do to even it out.
Hey,
all right.
Well, hold on. Who's their next opponent? I mean, I guess we'll see this in pick'ems, but the Carolina Panthers is probably a divisional game.
It's the Raiders.
Oh, it's the Raiders. That's so winnable.
That is a winnable
game.
That
is. So I think that's going to either prove or disprove the idea that Carolina is just a hot fucking mess.
Yes, it definitely will.
Is this the team that beat San Francisco somehow inexplicably last year, or am I misremembering that?
I don't think there's any world that happened.
I don't think that happened.
I'm gonna check their 2023 record real quick.
Yeah, check that.
They won like 2 games or something.
Yeah.
It was bad.
I think they won 1 game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I made
Didn't
that
they
up.
have multiple draft picks last year too, or was that
no? They didn't have their draft pick last year.
Right, they didn't have their number 1.
It was the Bears.
Which
that was entirely false. They beat the Texans. That was like the one
they beat the Texans.
victory, but otherwise, really not a lot.
So this really just was a Chargers bye week, so it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they're 2-0, but it's conditional 2-0.
Yeah. I mean, I will say though, Jim Harbaugh comes in 2-0 already off the bat.
Yeah.
And,
well, what's crazy is that the Chargers and the Steelers play each other next week, and one of these teams will be 3-0, and that will be shocking to me.
That's wild, actually.
That is
either
true.
way.
Speaking of shocking, we had the New Orleans Saints beating the Cowboys 44-19. Now, I
told the Cowboys the playoffs started already.
In fairness, I think we can say
prank.
I think we can say that Alvin Kamara beat the Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
And Rashid Shaheed, which thank you, Bear, for leaving him on the bench, or he would have killed me even harder.
I actually lost to Alvin Kamara in fantasy, and he had 40-some-odd fucking points. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Ridiculous.
3 fucking running touchdowns and a receiving one.
He's still here, dude. Like,
he's a god.
We were sleeping on him a bit this year. Like, not just fantasy, but overall. Like, he's still just as good.
I never did, dude. Yeah.
I was just going to say, everybody picked the Cowboys this game. Except me.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I was very shocked.
I didn't think the Saints were real. Like, they
didn't believe
it. Carolina, right?
Well, to be fair, the only reason I picked the Saints this week is it was the Cowboys. And I don't believe in the Cowboys either.
Yeah.
I thought they were our little regular season heroes, and that was it. But apparently they're just mid.
I mean, they're running the corpses of Ezekiel Elliott. And
that's true. They do not have a running game
back there.
Dude, I honestly, though, think that I know this is kind of controversial.
Yep.
But I'd put Alvin Kamara in the same kind of grouping as CMC. In the sense that, like, it's just the way that he plays is kind of unique to the two of them. Like, you have backs that can receive. And actually, we'll talk about this later, but Breece Hall looks like he might start being one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But you have backs that can receive, but like Alvin Kamara and CMC, it's like having another receiver on the field, like another wide receiver, just fully.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it's hard to beat a guy that's that versatile.
That was the role that Eckler was playing for a few years over there in LA. And you're right. Yeah, it is like an incredibly helpful weapon to have. And I think Breece Hall is a great comparison for that too, because he's absolutely turning into that for the Jets.
And I'm excited for that because he's that's my favorite type of running back. Like I've loved and Alvin Kamara is not like young in the league. Like he's how old is he actually?
I don't know. I was just gonna ask
29.
29, yeah, okay.
So,
he's almost 30. He's getting up there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he played with Breeze.
Yeah,
he did. I think we may have just underrated the Saints. I think a lot of people saw they lost a lot of people, but like they still got Kamara, Derek Carr. As much as we like to bash Derek Carr, like he's still good.
Yeah.
Like he's not
top 15 QB.
Yeah.
15 QB, 15.
Shaheed,
maybe,
Shaheed is good. Olave's good.
I looked back at our divisional predictions out of curiosity, and all of us put the Saints at 3rd in the division. So
really,
we were some big time doubters.
Well, I mean, in fairness, it's still week 2.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Buccaneers are still good, and the Falcons, like they woke up a little bit. So like, I don't know. I think it'll be closer. See. I mean, then there's the Panthers, so it's gonna.
Yeah, the Panthers are just an easy win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Cowboys they're the Cowboys.
Yep.
In fact,
they'll be in the playoffs.
It's worse.
It's a big game for two teams next week. Cowboys Ravens, I think, is it?
Oh boy.
And both of those teams need to make a statement.
They do.
One more than the other.
Yeah, wow.
And I don't yeah, that's I think I'll save that for pick'ems. All right. So that game happened. Then we had my favorite, Packers Colts. Folks, what a game. I called it. I was the only Packer believer. You know what? Randy believed. Randy was the other believer. Malik Willis, everybody. 12 of 14, 122 and a touchdown.
Played solid.
Yeah, 41 rushing yards. The most insane stat was the Packers had, I believe, 156 yards rushing in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So they also had 40 minutes time of possession this game. It was going to be
absurd.
Yeah, it was going to be 17-0 at halftime. Josh Jacobs fumbled at the 1. So this game actually should have been like more of a blowout. Like the Colts offense looked terrible. Like Anthony Richardson was just really inaccurate.
I was actually just about to say, from just looking at the box score here, I feel like if I were a Colts fan, I'd be real mad that they only ran Jonathan Taylor 12 times.
Dude, yeah, it was like Taylor would get going. I'm like, uh-oh, they're using Jonathan Taylor. That's not good. And then they would just like throw it, or like somebody would drop it and they'd do some dumb shit and then they'd punt. And I'd be like, dude, they're just bad. Like their offense just looked out of sync. It was because they would just.
It's not a high-scoring game. Like, why do you have Richardson throwing 34 times when Jonathan Taylor's got 8.6 yards per carry? You know, that's odd.
It didn't make sense. And then on top of that, the Packers were it was just 32 carries for Josh Jacobs, 151 yards.
Yeah.
The big thing was people kept being like, Malik Willis sucks. Malik Willis blows. Malik Willis hasn't thrown a touchdown. He was this draft, but I was like, I mean, this dude played in Tennessee. Did you guys watch the Titans last week and this week? Like, that is a disaster. And I was like, if anybody can save this guy, it is the Packers, the quarterback factory. And look at that. It turns out that a competent coaching staff can make a guy with talent look good. And this was like a Matt LaFleur masterclass.
Only have him throw 14 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was straight up like a Matt LaFleur masterclass, dude. Like you could tell he gave him the training wheels. Like he gave him like 2 reads. He was like, here's your 2 reads. If they aren't open, just run. Like, and they pretty much did that. But the throws he did make were like really good throws. Like he didn't have some like half-ass like whoop. Like he made solid throws. Like they looked legit.
To my recollection from the draft, he has like a monster arm.
Yeah, like I was surprised because everyone made it out like, oh, this dude sucks. He's like the worst quarterback ever. I'm like, okay. And then he would just like throw on the run and like hit a guy accurately. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. And then there's like one throw that was bad that I saw, and it was up to Dobbs for like 40 yards. It was like slightly underthrown, and then Dobbs went up and caught it anyway, because sleeper pick Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah, of course.
And it was just like he did good. Like he genuinely felt like a solid quarterback. Like I would love Malik Willis as our backup quarterback for like the next 2 years. At this point, the Giants will probably the Panthers will probably trade for him.
Yeah.
But it's like he would, and the best part is like he's a really just genuine dude. Like he was really humble. Dude, like after the game, he was just like, I thank my teammates. Hopefully Jordan gets back out there. Like he just like he didn't have anything like, yeah, I showed you Titans or like whatever. Like he was just like a good dude.
I mean, were you expecting him to? When's the last time you heard a fucking
quarterback? Yeah, my team Titans.
There's some quarterbacks. There are some quarterbacks that would definitely do that. All right.
I don't know, man. Keep their job afterward.
You could just tell he was a good dude. That's the main thing.
Why don't you gurgle my nuts, Tennessee?
Yeah, that's definitely what I want to hear.
Here's the funny thing. They play the Titans next week. So this could be a revenge game. And he probably wants it. They probably are all like, yo, let's go get it for him. And Tennessee's Tennessee.
Bad.
So yeah, I was surprisingly shocked at how well this game played out. Now, that all said, we missed the field goal and we were only up 6 and they got the ball back and tried to do a Hail Mary. And I was like, oh God, here we go. And then we knocked it down. So they were still in the game at the end, but they shouldn't have been. But whatever. Yeah. They won. If you win with your backup quarterback, that's a win. Like a big win. So
yeah, it is.
If you win without your backup quarterback, that was also
a win. Yeah. In fact, Malik Willis 1-0, Jordan Love 0-1. Uh-oh.
Hey, yeah. Wow. Quarterback controversy.
Yeah. I honestly wouldn't mind them. Like I mentioned it last week. If they use him in like a Taysom Hill type of role, like he feels like he could be that type of player. So I'm sure they'll scheme up some stuff because, dude, he is fast. Like he has that Lamar Jackson type of speed where he can just run. Like he had one play. He had one play where he could have passed it to Watson, who was like kind of covered, and he just like bolted and he beat like 4 defensive dudes, and then he should have slid, but he like didn't. But he got like 35 yards on the run. So there's also one more thing. The Packers center threw up on the ball.
Oh God, yeah.
I saw this.
Yep. And the Matt LaFleur asked him like, why didn't you throw the ball? And he was like, Josh threw up on it. So I guess he just like took the ball and ran, like holding onto a vomit ball.
Yeah.
So that
That's chemical warfare.
Yep.
That's friendly fire.
Yeah. But yeah, it turns out, as we're gonna learn this week, a competent offensive line and coaching staff is very nice to have for your football team.
Yeah, it matters a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
Who would have guessed?
Yep.
Then we had the oh boy, the Browns Jaguars.
I'm done with the Jags. I'm done.
Yep.
This is it, honestly. We have everyone dunking, clowning, laughing at the Browns. They're dog shit. They deserve to be dog shit. It's funny. And the Jags just come fucking waddling in like, oh, we're going to beat them. And they look like shit, man.
You got me picturing these timid little baby Jaguars. Like,
can we come play too? It's just fucking embarrassing how bad the Jags look. Like their floor is so low for the talent they have. It's pathetic. And it's frustrating to watch. Like, who is responsible for this? I don't know. Is it Doug Peterson? Is it Trevor Lawrence? Like, who is doing this? I don't really know. I don't have the experience to understand. But someone needs to go. Like this has been too long of this shit, man.
It's like it's weird because I remember we were like, dude, the Jaguars, they're like the up and coming team, and then they overperformed. We're like, wow, they made the playoffs and they barely lost. They had that like disappointing, they let whoever come back. I think the Chargers or something, and they're like, that's all right. Next year they're gonna win the division, and then they didn't, and then the Texans did, and then they failed at the end of the season, and now they're just like,
and then their window slammed shut.
Yeah, like it is crazy how much this team has fallen at this point.
Can we briefly mention, because this is Trevor Lawrence's 4th year.
Yep.
So did they already exercise the option? They already. He's already got a new contract.
Yep, they paid him. He 200 and something million.
Wow.
I think they gave him close to what Jordan Love got. I think slightly less.
Interesting. So that happened because they had the option. They didn't have to. They had the.
I mean, are you gonna find someone better than Trevor Lawrence?
No, but I'm just saying, like you have the first round option, so they could pay like a lot less for a year. I guess they were just doing.
Teams are. It's more often than not. It feels like teams are wanting to pay their players, like, which is weird because they also don't want to play their players, but.
Well, yes, but I mean, it's that's kind of like the whole thing with that first round. Like when you get a first rounder, you get the 5th-year option so that you can, pay
but players don't like playing on it.
Yeah, I mean, contracts. I guess that must be what happened here, right? Is Trevor Lawrence was like, pay me.
So I mean, look at what's happening with a lot of players with like the Ayuk holdout, the Jets, Hassan Reddick. They're like, I don't want to play unless I have my money.
Yeah,
which more power fucking to him, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, we actually got a nice quote here from Trevor Lawrence. I think this will really wrap everything up here. He said, "We suck right now."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
So that's good. Right. They've realized it.
Yeah. First step is admitting you have a problem.
Yeah. So I don't know what's wrong with them. It's just remember, Trevor Lawrence was touted as the next legendary quarterback.
Generational QB.
Generational QB until we got Caleb Williams, the next generational QB, who's also.
Did they call him that? I mean, they do call someone
that. They do
a
lot of generational quarterbacks.
But Trevor Lawrence, he was specific, right? Like he was like.
He's in that like Andrew Luck. This is the guy, right?
John Elway, Andrew Luck.
Of the generational like QBs, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence, the best one is CJ Stroud.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
like,
not even close.
That gives you perspective on what fucking that means.
Yeah, it's like above and beyond. Like, not close.
In the cases of Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, and John Elway, they were right before, right? Like those guys were Hall of Famers, within their first 5 years. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like a lot of people are saying with all these young quarterbacks, like Peyton Manning threw like 800 interceptions his first year. Well, I went and watched Peyton Manning's first game because I was curious. I was like, was he just terrible? And it turns out, no, he was actually very good. He was like one of the best quarterbacks with like deep ball accuracy. He was hitting crazy passes. It was just he didn't realize how tight the windows would be. And so he was just like trying to force a lot of balls. You could see it. Even one that I watched got tipped, and it was just like, but you could still tell like this dude is good. Right.
Well,
like
that rookie year, he broke the interception record for rookies, right? But he did also break the rookie touchdown record in that same year. So
people leave that part out. They're like, he threw somebody. It's like, well, you know, he was still putting up insane numbers that first year. Like he still threw for 3,700 yards and 26 touchdowns on top of the 28 touchdown or interceptions.
I gotta imagine the gap between college and professional is just widening too. Like it has to be. Like college, like I don't know. I love dunking on college football, but like I was watching it the other day, like the week before the NFL started, because I was like, I gotta watch football. Like I know it's not here yet, so I'll watch fucking college, I guess. And man, these offenses are just the most generic, samey. Like there's no like the defenses are not that great. Like
shotgun,
calling
5 wide.
Every snap is like 3, 2, 1, clap, snap, 3, 2, 1, clap, snap. There's like so little going on compared to an NFL game that like I have like it's got to be tough for these guys going from that to the best of the best and these defenses that don't let you do anything.
And then your offensive line's worse across the board now too, because they all grow up in that shitty system and they don't know how to play offensive line.
It's the same thing because every I've said it before on the podcast, but like every once in a while when a team gets really bad, like maybe the Panthers this year, someone might consider, why don't they just make them play a college team? I bet a college team could beat them, and it's like even the best one wouldn't. The reason is just very simple: is that the best college football team has like 5, maybe 10 NFL players on their roster, right? The NFL has 55, and every single one of them. So like all of them are the best of the best. It's just that when they're compared against each other in the NFL, some guys look like they're garbage when they're like extremely skilled.
10 is generous. Like it's probably closer to 5. Like I imagine. Like I don't know, maybe in the early 2000s the generational talent like had an easier time transitioning, I guess. I don't know.
I think they also went to school longer then too. Like a lot of guys
sorry, go on.
A lot of guys, they just go 1 year and then they're right out. Like a lot of people back then, they'd go 4 years.
Well, and the college offense has changed quite a lot. I don't really follow college football, so I mean, kind of grain of salt, but it's gotten very let's in a time frame of about 20 years, so quite a long time now, but like it grew to that air raid system, like the 5 wide thing, which actually ended up transitioning into the NFL because so many QBs came up in that. Like Pat Mahomes came up in the air raid system, right, in Ohio State, and Josh Allen did too. Whereas like guys like Peyton Manning, a lot of the elite high school kids, like guys like Peyton Manning who are already royalty, would go to a team that had a supposedly pro style offense, right? Which means that you're going under center a lot. But in the NFL, again, like now teams don't even really go under center all that much. Depending, like some teams like the Chiefs, they're pretty much just running an air raid where I don't know, like what percentage of plays is Pat Mahomes under center? Like 20%, if that.
A lot of them, they just don't know how to go under center, or even like, it's like if you watch Peyton Manning, he's like going around, he's walking around like, Omaha, jet set, right swing, okay, 55, like he's just every play.
Like, and they're doing the 3-step, 5-step, 7-step drop training and stuff, but they don't, you don't necessarily need to do that depending on which school you're in, as much as you did if you were in like that pro style system 20 years ago.
Speaking of
checks up.
Speaking of great quarterbacks in history, Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, they won a game.
Technically, technically speaking, it was a victory. On paper, it will be noted as such.
It didn't feel like it though.
No, it really didn't.
I mean, you just got to be happy.
Just be happy, Rob.
Just be happy.
Yeah. God, I wish that worked. There are bright spots. Breece Hall had an amazing receiving touchdown. Like, did you guys see that?
I did see it. Yep.
I mean, he like stretched out and like fingertip, like high pointed the ball against the defender in the end zone, like straight up. It looked like a wide receiver. And that's why I said earlier, I think that's a nice thing to see. That Breece Hall might be that guy.
Yeah.
The first half was really bad for the Jets. They just couldn't do anything on offense. Our play calling is, let's say, uninspired.
That's kind.
Yep.
Yeah. And also our defense is terrible, it seems. Like,
how though?
Okay, so here's the only thing that makes any and there this is a big gaping hole that what happened here. So we had on our D line last year, which was touted as one of the best D lines in the NFL, right? They got rid of John Franklin Myers and also Bryce Huff. Now the intention was that they were going to get they got Hassan Reddick come in and replace him, but Reddick's holding out. So we now have nothing on the interior D-line, it seems, because our D-line is just atrocious. Now, Sauce Gardner's still good. That's a thing. So he's been doing well, but like he's just one player, you know?
Yeah.
And the truth is, like, the way that Saleh was running the team, they weren't blitzing a lot. We were just getting pressure with 4-man rushes last year. But now they don't do that, and they're still not blitzing. So we just don't get any pressure. We didn't get any pressure against the Titans. We didn't get any pressure against the Niners. I mean, at least the Niners are the Niners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so I mean, with that said, it was better in this game. The defensive performance, as far as at least getting to the QB. But that's also partly because Will Levis is like out of his mind.
Yep. He really is.
There was one play that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life, where he leaped downwards while trying to lateral the ball by like kind of rolling it against the ground.
Yeah.
And that led to a turnover, as you could
a
expect.
bold strategy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was the dumbest thing since the thing he did last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Although, I think overall he looked pretty decent against our defense, which is unfortunate because we have a defensive coach. What's the point of having? Because now we have fucking Nathaniel Hackett, who's like, oh yeah, you know what we should do? Run up the middle twice and then throw a short slant route. It's just I don't know what's going on. Well, I know what's going on. It's the Jets, but I don't even know. I don't like. I know this is a win. I don't know.
It really doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, I straight up. I don't even. I don't know if this team is going to make the playoffs. If I'm being honest, from what I'm seeing, like they can't play any of the hard games. They're going to lose. There's no way. Like there's. Yeah, like who do they have coming up? I don't think they're even going to beat the Patriots.
It's going to be a closer game than we expected.
I think Aaron Rodgers will get rolling. I think they'll be all right.
I mean, he can only do so much. I mean, especially since I don't know what's going on with the play calling. I mean, maybe does he need to put his foot down or something and say, "Let me throw the fucking ball" or something?
There will be a point he will do that. Trust me. He is. You might say he's not the most quiet of football players.
I mean, he did good in this game. He did well. Like, again, it's actually a very weird sensation where the thing that's wrong with the Jets is not really the quarterback play.
Yeah.
You know, like he did well in the Niners game too. He did well in this game.
You're going through a waterfall, Rob.
Oh shit! Is it still bad?
Maybe.
I think you're good.
Okay, sorry. I tapped the mic.
Still there a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's water gushing down.
I think you're good now. Oh,
and he's gone.
Yeah,
that was enough Jets talk anyway.
The Jets got him.
I just wanted to. Is it all right?
You're good.
You're good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, it's the wire gets a little fucky.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Jets stink. But we won. So yeah.
I mean, they don't have the worst. I think they can beat the Patriots. They can beat the Broncos. They play the Vikings, which Aaron Rodgers at Minnesota, that's like old NFC North rivalry. He'll consider that like a divisional game.
I mean, I have faith in Aaron Rodgers to some degree.
Listen, I've seen this man carry some of the shittiest teams known to man into the playoffs. Like, I believe he can do it.
We do have, I mean, like, Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall are still very, very good. You know? It's just the rest of it. I mean, we again, our brilliant GM drafted a first round pick who's not planning on starting. So we're pretty much going on what we got last year. And again, Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson are very good. Jermaine Johnson actually got injured during the game, and I think he's like out, which is unfortunate. He was
he tore his ACL.
Did he tore his?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So that is not good. But yeah.
Hey, you know what? In 5 weeks, we get Jets Steelers Sunday night.
Oh, baby.
We do.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Primetime Jets, baby.
Woohoo!
Everybody loves that.
Then we had the Buccaneers Lions.
This is kind of my second, like, I'm angry result. Like,
Lions should have won.
Your defense was bad, and then your offense was good. So why this game? Your defensive good, your offensive bad. Like, what are you doing?
Good question.
Fix it.
Excellent question.
This team.
Weekly reminder that Aiden Hutchinson is fucking amazing.
He had like 4.5 sacks, whatever. Like, ridiculous.
In like the first half or quarter. Or whatever.
He had 3 or 4 in the first quarter. It was stupid. But like, it's frustrating that all of these players, from the fucking coach to the offensive line to I know so many Lions players, and I don't normally know a lot of players on each team. This team is too fun and too cool and too good to be losing a game like this. I'm not saying the Bucs are bad. I just mean, like, this was a very winnable game where your defense held them within, and you had multiple chances to win and you couldn't win it. That cannot happen. You will not win the Super Bowl if you play this kind of game like this. This is the important one.
Yeah.
So fix this shit, Lions. I want to root for you.
Didn't Amon-Ra St. Brown get injured? Is he okay?
He did. Yeah, he is out, I believe, for next week. I'm not 100% on that. Let me check.
They said he's avoided serious injury, but it's day-to-day, and it's a soft tissue injury.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. So that's not great, but it's also not terrible.
It's not the end of the world because Jameson Williams looks really good.
He does, yeah. Also, dude, the Buccaneers just keep doing it. Chris Godwin, 17 a touchdown.
I feel like we almost put them, or mentally anyway, I think I put them in the category with the Patriots, where it's like, oh, they've lost too many pieces. There's no way they're going to be able to run it back. But like, Baker's just going off. He's clearly still just as fired up as ever.
Yeah.
To make a name for himself. And then Godwin and Evans, it was Godwin's turn this week for 7 for 117 and a TD. Like, those two are still just as good as ever.
Yeah. I mean, it was his turn last week, too. He got me like 25 points each week.
Yeah, man.
They're such a good duo.
Their running game is struggling a little bit right now. You had Rashad White with 10 carries for 18 yards, and then Bucky Irving with 7 for 22. So, they got to get that going at some point. But
Baker Mayfield's leading their rushing stats.
That's not a good stat line to see. But otherwise, like, they're doing just as well as they can with what they've gotten. And turns out what they've got is still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's impressive. Honestly, okay, I just remembered something. In this game, the Lions had 4th and I don't remember. It was like the last play of the game, and they threw it to like the 10-yard line instead of the end zone. I was like, what are you doing? It was so dumb.
Didn't they? They also had that fake punt, right?
They had a fake punt within their own 10-yard line or something
that was
insane
wild.
like that.
And they converted it like perfectly.
Yeah.
That's so psychotic that I can't possibly not think it's the coolest thing ever.
That's so Lions, brother.
I love
it's
Dan
so
Campbell.
stupid that it's amazing.
Yeah.
Lovingly, that's Dan Campbell.
I want to see more shit. Like I really think the league has all sorts of magic and cool shit that people are too scared to try. And I would love to see more of it. Because you look stupid. When you fuck it up, you look stupid. When you do something weird and you fuck it up, everyone makes fun of you. But you got to think about how cool it could be when you don't fuck it up.
Yeah, but you usually fuck it up. That's why it's disincentivized, you know? Like, and also, like, if you fuck it up and you're a joke, like, you probably end up getting fired. And then you're out of a job.
I think the reason that fake punt worked is because who is going to fake a punt?
Yeah.
Within their own 10-yard line. No one is gonna do that. So they didn't defend it, and he just had an easy throw or whatever to get the first down because you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
and then I think they ended up punting anyway on that drive.
Yeah,
I think Dan Campbell also kind of has a unique kind of position to some degree. Like, other coaches can get away with it too. Like, if Andy Reid started fucking around with weird trick plays, which he does sometimes, if he fucks them up, like, nobody's gonna be like, fire Andy Reid. Well, some people probably will.
Yeah,
you know.
Always somebody.
But Dan Campbell's kind of the same way in Detroit right now. Like, he's like the king of Detroit currently, right? So even if they fuck these up, like, who's gonna get too mad?
Yeah,
unless it's a lot in a row, then it'll be
if it's a lot in a row, then it's a problem.
Yeah,
I think they'll be all right. Jared Goff has been pretty mediocre, so
yeah,
he needs to step it up, especially because of fantasy. I am starting Derek Carr this week instead of him, so
that's a good call.
Yep. Then we had the Raiders defeat the Ravens.
Dude, talk about the most unexpected 0-2 team to start the year. Holy shit.
This is why I love locking the Ravens, because when I lose my luck, it's just still so sweet.
This was Gardner Minshew, dude.
Dude, okay, but hold on a second. Let's talk about Gardner fucking Minshew the second, dude, because it feels like every time we get back to talking about this dude, it's because he did like something remarkable like this: 30 for 38, 276 in a TD. Played really well in his first game too. Like, he's legit still. Like, we keep sleeping on Gardner. He's putting up numbers, man.
We also need to talk about Brock Bowers, first-round draft pick for the Las Vegas Raiders, tight end. 9 for 98, and a lot of those were in the fourth quarter when they needed him to show up.
Yeah, it's actually perfect 9 on 9 targets.
Yeah,
wow,
9 receptions on 9 targets.
And then Devontae Adams, the casual 110 and a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, it's Devontae Adams though, right?
Yeah.
Their running game, another glaring issue here with Zamir White, 9 for 24. Obviously,
yeah, that's their weak point. They can't run the ball.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? What's the over/under on Devontae Adams getting traded before the trade deadline?
I don't think they'll do it now.
Yeah, I don't think they'll move him.
Really?
It's like
it's their team. That's like their offense right now.
Yeah,
but
I think they believe they've got a chance right now in this division, which probably isn't true, but at least that's their mentality.
We'll see in 4 weeks.
Yeah, we'll see after a couple of weeks, maybe.
If this is their only win, then yeah, maybe they move.
They'll send him to the Steelers. Ooh.
or the Jets. I'm just saying, play with your old friend.
Derrick Henry.
Lamar-Derrick Henry combo, you would think would be working better. I guess they got to give him a little bit of time to work the kinks out. Still, this has been a little underwhelming so far.
Yeah,
I think there was a lot of his action wasn't until the second half anyway. I don't know what the Ravens' game plan is. I don't know what they want to do or what they want to be, because they're not running super effective, nor are they passing super effective. They're just kind of mid at both, which you got to be good at one of them if you have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
you got to do something here.
What happened to Mark Andrews? Also, man, I feel like
didn't he get injured too?
He got injured last year, and so now I wonder. I mean, he had a better game today than last week, but
a little bit. But still, he's just normally a much bigger presence on their offense.
Yeah, and tight ends, man. It's so rare to have a Gronkowski / Kelsey.
Yeah,
it's literally just them.
Kelsey's even Kelsey's not looking so great. Yeah.
Well, he's also like, what is he, like 38 or something?
I think so.
No, I think it's
What is it, 407?
I think a big problem is having 151 rushing yards to 27 and yet still having less time of possession than the other team. I don't know how that happens.
That is
Oh yeah,
bad.
he's 34. He's practically dead.
Yeah,
he's
just
dead.
like us.
The Ravens did have 11 penalties to the Raiders 3. So it was 109 penalty yards to 15. So that's quite a bit.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Yeah, but the Ravens they gotta figure it out pretty fast.
I think this is the first time they've lost their home opener in like a decade too.
Yeah, it's rough. So we'll see what they do. But speaking of rough, the Rams.
Oh, rough Rams. All right, man.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Cardinals going to town on them.
Okay, so first of all, Marvin Harrison Jr. has arrived. Holy fuck.
He went simply
He's
fucking nutty mode.
Yeah.
He's going to be a monster.
4 catches for 130 and 2 TDs in the first quarter.
Yeah,
and then he didn't catch anything beyond that. But
is that was all one quarter, and then he just bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just, I mean, why even?
Yeah,
you know?
Just like storm for a more useful time.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray putting up the 60th perfect passer rating game of all time or something like ever, which, finally got himself a break. He's been having a struggle for the last few years in Arizona, so it was nice to see him put it this line, especially when he's on my fantasy team.
Also, James Conner, 122 and a touchdown.
We always forget that James Conner's actually pretty good at football.
Yeah.
He's
been good for what, like 2 or 3 years now, right?
It's just he's been on the Cardinals.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had
Trey McBride had a few catches this game. Like, they were looking connected today, man.
They also had Dennis Gardeck had 3 sacks, and they sacked Matt Stafford 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, in fairness to him, like they don't have, like they killed all of the Rams. The Rams are dead.
The Rams are dead.
Yeah.
They're all dead. They're all back.
They're making souvlaki.
Another team that doesn't have anything in the rushing game, man. Kyron Williams, 12 carries, 25 yards. Like, Jesus Christ.
Good thing I got him as my lead running back.
Nothing happened this game that was good for the Rams. It was all bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was like Miami basically.
Virtually over, yeah. Like,
I mean, without Kupp and Nakua for the next 5 weeks at least, they are in trouble.
And they got Puka because Kupp went down last year, right? Like that's something like that happened where he was stepping in for an injured player. Well, I remember the game that he broke out, Puka Nakua, was the same game that Tutu Atwell looked really good. So I guess
he's been struggling a lot more lately, but
he struggled the rest of the year really compared to Puka, But I mean, I don't know. Maybe Tutu Atwell's gonna.
I mean, Demarcus Robinson is okay. I mean, he had 2 for 50 this game, so not a lot to speak of. But
the Rams' current injury list is Kupp, Nakua, Tyler Higbee, 5 offensive linemen, a defensive lineman, both their corners, and their starting safety.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. It's
and you can't do that in this division. This division's way too good.
Yeah, they're fucked.
It's so I don't want to count an 0-2 team out, but I look at this and I go, I don't see a world where you guys come back from this.
Yeah. It would be a masterful coaching job from Sean McVay if they can get wins out of this.
Yeah.
That's the whole team. That's like the whole offense.
It's literally the whole offense. So it's
the good news is they have a really easy game next week in the Niners.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's
that
good.
Should be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too hard.
I mean, they got a couple injuries over there too, right?
Yeah.
That's what a way to bring it home for their home opener, man. 0-2, the entire offense is dead. Yeah, let's go Rams. You're in LA, you don't give a shit about anything. Why would you give a shit about this?
Well, now they can swap over to the Harbaugh team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we had Chiefs Bengals, which was actually a good game.
It was.
Yeah. It was a great game.
Yeah.
Bengals bungled it though.
They did bungle it. Also,
bad PI at the end, man.
Isaiah Pacheco is out for
I think
a while.
I think Joe Burrow's frosted tips are cursed.
I think
he
so.
needs to change that haircut like
He
right
does.
away.
Anytime they show, like, specifically the shot, like the photo they got for him is so unflattering. Anytime they do like a big like stat display for him, he looks like a White Walker, man. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
It looks so bad. I don't know why he
blonde.
did it.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know why. It doesn't make sense.
He went to Guy Fieri's Flavortown barbershop.
If you're the Bengals, it has to feel so bad to get Patrick Mahomes to throw 2 interceptions and you still lose the game.
Yeah, he had a bad game.
Yeah,
he did not look great.
Yeah, it was. They did not look great. And then there was a play where Jamar Chase thought he got horse collared or drop tackle or something. He yelled at the ref, and then that moved him out of field goal range. Or I think he might have still. It was.
Well, he got on Sportsman. Yeah, he got on
Sportsman
conduct.
But that felt like that kind of snapped the Bengals a bit too. Like they were doing well, and then that happened, and then the Chiefs. They did the Chiefs things. Like they just drove down the field, they kick it, they win. It's just
they'll be in the fucking Super Bowl again, probably.
Yeah. The Bengals do get the Commanders and Panthers in the next couple of weeks, so they've got at least a chance to right the ship. And then they got the Ravens at home after that. So I think we'll be talking about them in a more competitive way.
0-2 starts though, rough. I wonder, do you guys remember the stats on teams that start 0-2? Like the percentage to make it to the playoffs.
It's low, man. It's
I believe the Bengals have started 0-2 like 3 times in the last 4 years or something.
If anybody's gonna do it, I think
0-3 is the bad one. 0-3 is you're so fucked kind of territory.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Bengals do play, like you said, Commanders, Panthers. Then they play the Ravens and the Giants. So those are all winnable games.
Yeah.
Depending on
even
the Ravens,
if you, I mean, depending on that. But if you come out of that 4-0, even 3-1. Then you come out of that 500.
The conversation, absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll see what they do, and then the Chiefs are just the Chiefs.
I'm so sick of talking about it. God damn it.
Yep. Then we had the Steelers Broncos. What a barn burner of a game.
Holy cow. Steelers football kind of game. It's frustrating because this is the second game in a row now where the Steelers. Like, this should have not been close. Like, the Steelers cannot seem to do anything cool without it getting called back because of a penalty. It happened like 3 times in the Falcons game. It happened like fucking 4 times in this game. Like, it just won't stop happening. We'll get like an insanely cool turnover or a really cool passing play. Justin Fields has a disgustingly good pass in this game to Pickens for like 50 yards or some shit. It was probably one of the best throws Justin Fields has ever thrown. And it got called back because of a fucking penalty, man. Like a holding call for no reason. Like, it's freakishly obnoxious to watch these games and be like, I think we're actually pretty good, but we're only winning by like 1 score. But the Steelers defense at the end of the day, I'm going to say I was right. It's gross. It's gross how good this defense is. I mean, TJ
Watt's a fucking monster, man.
TJ Watt's just, what's cool is it's not just TJ Watt anymore. Like, Highsmith is really, really good on the other side. You have Joey Porter Jr., who's just been such a great draft pick from last year. We have Trice had an interception, which was a cornerback I think we got in last year's draft, but he like tore his ACL or something, but he's come back and he looks good now too. Like, our defense just looks great. And then you forget we also have Minka Fitzpatrick, who's also just an incredibly good safety. Like, the whole defense is just so good. It's so good and tasty. But I want to see a breakout game. I want to see a game where we score a bunch of points because I think that either of these games that could have happened. Like, I really do think that both of these games should not have been close. And I don't normally talk very highly about my team. You guys know this. I normally we suck.
It's shocking.
But like, Fields has looked good. He's not done anything super flashy other than that 1 throw, but he has still not turned the ball over. This is Justin Fields we're talking about. Constantly turns the ball over. He has not had a single turnover in 2 straight games now. It looks like he's going to start again next week. And next week we have the Chargers. So I don't think the Chargers have a particularly incredible defense. I think it's either mid or lower. So I want to see us destroy the Chargers. I don't think we're going to, but I want to see it because I think that this is the kind of team where the defense can just take the game over and the offense can just be like, okay, we're going to run the ball. We're just going to score like 3 touchdowns and we're going to win 21-6 or some shit. Like that's how I want to see these scores be going. Not 13-6, not 18-15 or whatever it was. I want to see some 21-6s, you know?
Yeah.
Also, Bo Nix isn't very good.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, he seems not very good.
Feel bad.
It was another
also,
thing.
when I see his name,
people saw him in the preseason and they're like, he did good in the preseason. And I was like, yeah, he's not going to be good.
I've heard that one before from me.
Yeah.
When I see his name on the stat line, it feels like there's not enough letters. You know what I mean?
Like his name is
it feels like there's a typo. Yeah.
There he is, Bonix.
What's depressing is that like a good 60 of these yards is on like one pass too. That was like a trick play that they had.
Yeah.
And to Apollo's point, there were 19 total penalties in this game.
It was so miserable to watch.
Yeah.
There was a stat before, I remember sitting on the Steelers subreddit that was like the ref that's reffing this game is the ref that throws the most penalties on the Steelers historically. And I was like, I wonder if that's like a thing or if that's just stats. No, he did it again. Like he just came in and did it again. I hate him. I don't like this guy.
I was swapping between games when I was at the gym, and there was this one, the Cardinals and the Chiefs Bengals, and I just kept trying to watch the other 2 games that weren't Chiefs Bengals, and I was like, yeah, no, nah, these are bad games.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in our play calling because we're having that thing happen that happened every drive with Matt Canada, where we're seeing so many 3rds and 12s and shit, and like 2nd and longs. Like we have too many drives with these 3rd and super longs. Like that's not how this should work. And I feel like you got to find a happy middle ground because we've had those good drives. We've had a couple where it's like we got you get like those 3rd and 3s, those 3rd and 2s, like the run game gets going and like that works, but it goes so catastrophically wrong when it doesn't work. Like when you don't have a Mahomes or a Josh Allen who can just make sure you literally always convert whatever the fucking down and distance it is. It gets real bad real quick when you don't have that and you get into those situations. So I still hate this kind of like run-based offense. I've never been a fan of it. It's old school and it's not how the league works anymore. But it's what we got, so I gotta hope it works.
Yeah, it's like there's different types of running. Like there's the way the Packers ran, which is like a lot of motion and getting guys schemed open, and then there's just like run the ball down their throat type of run.
Classic Steelers football. Oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
Brand and pound.
There's some funny quotes that came out of it where Justin Fields said that Russ got kind of did dirty last year, so they gave him a petty game ball. And Mike Tomlin, when they asked him about it, said none of your business, respectively, and then said, and I can't give you all the ingredients to the hot dog. You might not like it.
It's the most Mike Tomlin shit of all
very
time.
Mike Tomlin.
What does he mean?
Well, he's referencing don't ask how the sausage is made or however you say it.
Okay, but
yeah, it's
all right.
But he phrased it in the most Mike Tomlin way he could have possibly.
Yep.
That's pretty good though. I like
it is. Then we had Bears Texans.
Go Texans, dude.
So
Goddamn.
funny that Caleb Williams is 0-2 and Justin Fields is 2-0. It's just really funny.
Well, I mean, he is.
Oh, are they 1-1? Oh,
yeah.
right. I in my eyes they lost that other game.
They pretty much did. The Titans won.
I
the
registered
Titans
it as a
lost
loss.
that game more than the Bears won that game. It is.
I get Caleb Williams is 0-2. The Bears are 1-1.
Right.
Here we go.
That's
Okay,
smart.
now I got it.
Yeah. It's man. Like listen, as somebody who lives in Chicago that had to listen to the Bears talk the entire year, it's just hearing the backtracking now is that they're just like the entire like Bears Super Bowl, Bears biggest upset to Bears like, and then they're like, it's finally a good situation for a rookie quarterback. Is this the best situation a rookie quarterback's ever had? And now they're like, well, I mean, his offensive line's bad. And like, it's like, okay, well, where was that like months ago? You weren't 3 months ago like, the offensive line's terrible. He's going to suck. Like, nobody said that. They were like, ooh, Caleb. It's because, here's why. Nobody again, nobody cares about offensive line until you play the game and you're like, holy shit, we need offensive line. Because it's not like the flashy position. You're like, ooh, the wide receiver and the quarterback and the running back. Yeah, I know those guys. And then it's like, wait, who's this guy? He's left guard? Oh, he didn't block anybody and my quarterback died. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Caleb Williams was sacked 7 times. That's bad. That's
his stat line looks bad, but I actually thought he looked pretty decent in the game.
This game, I feel like he, even though he has 2 interceptions and no touchdowns, he looked better in this game than the previous game, but he also was getting fucking mauled.
Yeah, he was just getting annihilated.
He had to play hero ball. Normally, I'm like, oh, I hate when a quarterback plays hero ball and throws a bunch of dog shit. Like, he had to. He had no choice. He had 2 seconds to throw every play.
Which was just funny because at USC, everyone was like, oh, he's playing badly this year because his offensive line's garbage. And then the Bears took him. And I'm like, guys, I got bad news for you. It's not good. Plus, like, again, go back and listen to our NFL draft show. And I literally break this all down. Caleb Williams, it's like he's doing the same thing he did in college, where he runs around. He tries to make something happen. He like does some crazy throw. He'll hit a couple, and then the other throws either misses or gets picked off. And it's like, it just feels like he's still in college. And that's kind of why I was like, I think he needs a year or 2. But it's the Chicago Bears, so they're probably going to just kill him and ruin a generational talent because it's the Bears.
Yeah.
I want to talk about CJ fucking Stroud.
Yeah.
I love this kid. Like, we always say when we talk about him, like, he just looks so fucking poised, man.
Mm-hmm.
And you would too if your name was Coleridge Bernard Stroud IV, which is the name of a hedge fund manager, by the way, not the name of an NFL quarterback.
I didn't know that was his name.
It's a great name.
That's
like
great.
He just always looks completely in control. Like, nothing phases this dude, and it's been that way from day one. The Texans have him at QB. It is so exciting for this team.
Also,
where does
Nico
the
Collins.
J come from? Wait.
Yeah, I didn't actually.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Where does the J?
Just sort of put it
Rich Bernard, CJ Stroud IV.
Is it Jorge?
I'm gonna read into this.
Nico Collins is also very good.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, I didn't realize how good he was. I was like, yeah, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins is actually insanely good.
They are loaded on offense, man. It's fucking wild.
They're loaded on defense. Like, their pass rush is insane.
They're just loaded. Well, they had like 1 million picks last year too, right?
Yeah. It was,
and they have like a shitload of money still. I feel like.
Yeah. Well, they don't have to pay anybody yet. So yeah.
Yeah.
This is like,
I'm losing my fucking mind. I'm sorry.
You
to
sound
interrupt.
like you're getting excited.
Yeah, you're right.
I keep Googling what does CJ Stroud, like, what does the CJ and CJ Stroud stands for? And it just keeps telling me, oh, it stands for Coleridge Bernard CJ Stroud IV. That's not what I'm asking, man. What does the CJ stand for? Every single thing keeps coming up with the same thing.
Keep looking, man. You'll get.
Okay, here's an idea. What if Coleridge is actually spelled Colerijj? Then you have your J's, I guess.
I guess you can just call yourself CJ. There's not a rule against it.
Yeah. Well, I guess he would be CB instead.
That'd
be weird. Yeah.
Name.
I also want to mention, again with the Bears defense is very good, which it always is. Every year I've been alive, it's always been like Bears defense and special teams. And it always is good. Even when they went to the Super Bowl, it was because of their defense and special teams. It was like, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, like all these dudes. It wasn't like Zach Grossman or whatever his name was, or Rex Grossman, not Zach. It was Rex Grossman.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they always just got some like random ass offense. Even when they won the 84 suit, it was like Jim McMahon. Like, and like Walter Payton was their running back, like that carried them to victory. But like, now you get this guy that are like, is this going to be Trevor Lawrence 2.0? Like, are they going to ruin him? Because that's what the Jaguars did. They're like, here's a coach that like kicks his players and tells you you're garbage. And then we'll get like a different guy. And like, then Trevor Lawrence goes from generational prospect to like just some guy that's like an okay quarterback at this point. It's like, are they going to do it to him where they're like, dude, his arm's insane, but he's going to get hit 70 times in a year. And then before you know it, He's like seeing ghosts back there, like Sam Darnold. And the Bears are like, oh, Eberflus is gone. We'll bring in another offensive coach, the same way they did with Matt Nagy and Trubisky and Justin Fields and like all these guys. And then before you know it, Caleb Williams is going to Pittsburgh in like 4 years. They're like, wow, this guy's pretty good.
Sorry, I can't find it. There was a Reddit thread, and everyone is just like, I don't know. No one knows.
Yeah, it's
just did it.
You can try to find it. I can't.
I'm searching now.
All right.
I don't know what to see.
Try searching.
Texans good, Bears bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And it's again, Caleb Williams. He's got a really good arm, but he needs the rest of the stuff. He needs to be able to read a defense. He needs to be able to like probably have some time to throw the ball. The Bears' running game is absolutely terrible. DeAndre Swift ran for 18 yards on 14 carries.
Yeah, it was like a fifth instance of this we've seen this week, dude.
Yeah,
Jesus.
like it's not good. DJ Moore is that offense. Like DJ Moore hard carried them on offense.
He was getting so frustrated too, man. And deservedly so.
Yeah. So it's I mean, the Bears play the Colts next week. So that'll be interesting. And then they play the Rams, and then they play the Panthers, and then they play the Jaguars, and then they play the Commanders. This is like the easiest stretch of games for the Chicago Bears. Mm-hmm. So if they only go like 2 or 3 wins in these, I'd be concerned. They should win like 4 or 5 of them if they want to be like a contending team.
I have a CJ update.
All right.
Ooh.
What is the J for in CJ Stroud's name?
Yep.
There hasn't yet been an explanation. Stroud gets the J in his CJ name, as his initials would be CB. That said, could be a situation similar to that of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson Jr., the Eagles defensive back that goes by CJ Gardner-Johnson Jr. or Gardner-Johnson because he's Chauncey Jr.
But he's not Stroud Jr., he's Stroud the 4th.
Well, yeah, it's kind of, there have been multiple Coleridges in his family, named after a philosopher, but it could also be named after a different philosopher. It seems very complicated, his whole naming in his family.
I'm going to ask him.
Then we had the Falcons, Eagles.
Boy, the Eagles really Falcons this up, huh?
They really did. This was
apparently
one Saquon Barkley catch away from being an Eagles win. And he dropped it.
Yeah. I'm glad that no one like clowned on the play call because it was a great play call.
Yeah.
Like it was the correct play call. The play would have worked if Barkley didn't drop it.
Yeah, it definitely was. But what wasn't a good play call was prevent defense.
Okay, so we need to talk about this because there's a Reddit thread up right now, and I respect its like analysis, and they're saying basically this wasn't prevent defense. It was just the cornerback getting fucking hosed over and over. Which I think if you look at the tape, that probably makes sense. Yeah, but the thread gets a bit fucking off topic and weird if you read the comments because it's pissing me off. It's a bunch of people pretending to know about football, trying to make fun of other people who are pretending to know about football. It's pretenders all the way down. But it's a bunch of people being like, this is my moment where I can come in and clown on people who say prevent defense. Prevent defense is a real thing that exists and happens. We could all agree on that.
Yeah.
Like
it has its place.
It's places when you're up like 3 scores.
Yeah.
Like it's not a thing you do when there's 1 score left. But yes, for some reason, many fucking teams do it. And I'm annoyed because in this instance, I was saying prevent defense sucks because, you know, when you're watching the game, you can't see the fucking sky view cam of every single player doing everything. So when you see,
they would, by the way, you really only get to see the O-line and the D-line, and that's really you miss like the majority of what's actually happening on any given play. Sorry,
I think it was easy to say prevent defense because I mean it was pretty wide open. Like it really felt way too easy for the Falcons, but it turns out it's just because what was it? Quinion Minshall got absolutely bodied on like 3 straight plays by Darnell Mooney, shout out to Darnell Mooney, who had the absolute fucking worst play I've ever seen from a wide receiver where Cousins like lined him up, threw him the deep ball, totally catchable, beautiful, and Mooney just gave up on the play, completely stopped running. It was awful. the most low effort. Please stop speaking that. The most low effort play that I've ever seen. And then he came back and fucking just went nutso on that final drive. Had some great routes, looked awesome.
Yeah.
But my point is that prevent defense is extremely real and extremely annoying. And just because in this one instance that it actually wasn't prevent defense does not allow you to be Reddit superior overlord and act like you know everything about football. And
I want to say I personally don't think prevent defense exists, and the evidence is fallacious.
I think prevent defense is flat and not round.
You know what? I'm kind of leaning towards it myself.
I mean, you could even hear commentators will call it out nowadays. Even like these plays where it might not have been prevent defense, but you could hear that Joe Buck and Trey Emmett were like the safeties are playing so deep, and like the corners are playing really far. Like they're giving them the middle of the field, and they just so happen to take the sideline because their wide receivers made some really good plays. But like I still think that like teams trick themselves into seeing like, oh, there's a minute and a half left, no timeouts. If we just let them have the middle of the field, the game will end. Yeah. No, it won't. A minute and a half is a goddamn eternity. Mahomes did it in 13 seconds with one timeout. Like a minute and a half is any quarterback can do that.
Oh yeah.
So
I was gonna say in the Sunday night game, the Texans actually did the opposite. They blitzed Caleb Williams when Collinsworth was like, "It's time to unleash Caleb Williams."
Oh yeah,
and
Collinsworth was so annoying again, by the way.
Yeah, they just blitzed the shit out of him, and it worked. Who would have guessed?
Yeah,
not prevent defense.
Blitzing is good.
Yeah, unless you're Geno Smith, in which case, he can deal with it. But yeah, this was just a classic Eagle goof game, and the Falcons somehow, some way won. I can't believe they won it. It's like genuinely insane that they won.
The Falcons looked better this game.
They did.
If we're talking about the overall game, like Bijan Robinson looks really good. Kirk Cousins looked much better. I mean, that's a great stat line: 20 for 29, 241 touchdown, 2 touchdowns.
And he's still injured. He said, right?
Yeah,
I think
100%.
I still think this Falcons team has a chance of being good, which is good for me as a Steelers fan because it means our defense is really good. But I don't know. It depends on where is Kirk Cousins going to get back to. Like if he gets back to last year Kirk Cousins, this team's going to be scary. I think that you have too many weapons and a strong run game paired with a really good pocket passer is gonna it's gonna be good.
Also, bad news for the Eagles. AJ Brown, who missed this game, is expected to miss a few more weeks.
So many injuries, man.
Yeah,
that's
a lot of
bummer.
I'm telling you, armor. Get the armor.
Well, it's time to move on from the games.
Move on from the
games. It's power rankings.
From the games.
So it's the power rankings.
Power rankings.
Power rankings. We all know that.
Moving on to the power rankings.
All right, here we go. Top 5 teams, starting with Rob.
Chiefs.
Yep. Bear.
Probably still Niners.
Yep. Apollo.
It's gonna be. Oh God, it gets a little weird now, doesn't it?
I said that.
You guys said Chiefs, Niners.
Yep.
Give me the Texans.
Yep. Rob.
Wow. Give me the.
Oh, this is an obvious one.
Yeah, you missed it.
Yeah, that's the Bills.
There you go.
It is the Bills and
Let's
Bear.
go.
Okay, now I have no idea.
It's weird.
Let's throw them a bone. Let's say the Saints.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I think it's the Bucks.
I think it's gonna be a one-and-one team. I think it's probably the Niners.
We said that already.
The Niners.
Ah, shit!
You know what? You said 1-1. It's the Lions. You were right.
Okay.
But the Bucks beat them.
That's a great point.
It's the power rankings.
It's the
this
power
is what
rankings,
they do.
though.
They're monsters.
Yep. The thinnest dink. This team went up 16 spots, the largest dink in power ranking history.
Wow.
Oh, okay. This has got to be the Saints.
It is the Saints.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like because we have completely outperformed
the
expectations so far.
previous largest dink was plus 13. Saints go from 24 to 8. Yeehaw.
Goddamn. That's nuts. Up to 8. Yeah. I was hoping they maybe be top 5, but 8's pretty damn good.
That's
Now,
wild.
We got ourselves a big fat doink this week. Not a record breaker. The fattest doink ever was 12, but this is 11.
Wow.
Wow.
Ed's been on the sauce this week, I guess.
Yep.
This is a wild week too. To be fair,
it's the Rams.
It's the Rams. Yeah, I just realized
It's the Rams. Yep.
Yeah.
Largest doink was Saints and Cowboys together. They both fell 12.
Oh, was that Ed home, or was it
I don't know.
Dan?
Probably Dan Haynes'. If I had to guess.
What's he up to?
I don't know. It's a good question.
He's doing well. We
Look it
email
up.
every few days.
Check him.
Oh, good.
The Dallas Cowboys have finally fallen out of the top 10.
Hot damn.
How many consecutive weeks had they been in the top 10 prior to this week?
Oh, a lot. Like
47.
20? I'll say 20.
Rob?
Before I answer your question,
All right.
I want to say that Dan Hans is running a podcast.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
All right.
Yeah. So it's
Good
called
for him.
Get off our
Around
game,
the
Dan.
NFL. Yeah. We can probably get him on
and a
now.
bear talk about football.
Yeah. Now, to your question, what was it?
Cowboys have fallen out of the top 10. How many weeks had they been in the top 10 prior?
Wow.
I'm going to reassess mine and go down to 26.
I'm going to go with 14.
It was 34 weeks.
I changed mine back to the first answer. I go back.
This
I
time.
think it was that long.
Yep, this ties the 5th longest top 10 streak. The Chiefs do not have the longest streak. They are 2nd and 3rd, though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's the
Cowboys.
longest?
I wonder if it's the Niners.
No.
Well,
The Niners, remember, they were kind of like they everyone knew they were good for a long time, but they were just constantly
it's probably like
losing.
the Bills or something.
What about maybe like the Patriots from back in the day?
I can see that.
I don't know.
From back in the day, yeah.
It's
But
gotta
I don't
be the
know.
Bills.
Maybe the Bills. I don't know. But the Bills were kind of ass like 3 or 4
Yeah, but then
years ago.
they've been good for those 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It might.
Yeah, I can see that. I
could
can
be.
see it could be, yeah.
This week had the most overall movement since the start of the Ed Home era. But
Wow.
which division changed the most and which changed the least? I mean, one's pretty obvious.
Changed
Yeah.
the most. Is it obvious?
I think it's the what's the Rams division? NFC West?
Yeah.
That's my guess. NFC West.
Let's go NFC South.
The one this is for least or most?
Most.
Most. Fuck.
Least.
I think it's
17.
sure, it's the South.
Luigi.
It is the NFC South.
Fuck!
Hey.
I mean, we did have the Saints have the largest dink in
Yeah.
history. So
Yeah.
Right.
I thought that would make it obvious. How about the least, though? NFC East. Oh, wait, I just said it. It's the NFC. And
I think it's
this
the
is why
NFC
you weren't.
East.
I think I just said
to host
NFC
Jeopardy.
least. I meant to say the NFC least, and it just kind of I read it, and it's the East. True or false? The 2-0 Pittsburgh Steelers are ranked below the 0-2 Ravens and 0-2 Bengals.
Oh,
false.
that's annoying. I'm gonna say it's.
I want to say it's false.
Say it's true.
What do you think, Rob?
I said false.
He said false.
Oh,
It's
okay,
false. The
Let's
go.
Steelers
It's
are
because of the
behind the
Bengals.
Ravens, but did not move ahead of the Bengals.
That is actually hilarious that they're behind the Ravens.
Yeah.
2-0 versus 0-2.
Ravens are number 9, Steelers 14, Bengals 16.
The Bengals
Ed.
are 16?
Yeah, that's
I mean, they had a bad week 1, but they almost beat the Chiefs. That's a weird one.
that is a weird one.
I mean, the Ravens also being top 10, although having not
Lost to
won
the
a
Raiders
game.
pisses me off. Yeah,
Yeah.
that pisses me off. That really pisses me off.
Oh boy, here we go. Pick'em's crossover. since Eric Edholm took over the power rankings? Have picks matched the rankings more or less compared to the Hand Zeus era?
Oh, for like the podcast in total?
Yes.
I think more.
Wait. Hold on. More as compared to what?
To Hanzus, to the Dan Hanzus era.
Oh, are you saying
Like,
it's been more unstable or less unstable? What is I don't understand.
Have the picks matched the rankings more or less compared to the Hand Zeus era? So, like, do our picks match with Hand Zeus more or with Ed Edholm more, essentially?
I think Ed Edholm is my choice for more.
I think Hanzus more.
Same.
It is Hand Zeus, which is less across the board. Everybody, literally every one of us, including Randy, is matched more with Hand Zeus.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wait, when you say
maybe
match,
that's just a numbers thing, though. Like maybe it's because we've had him more. You know?
Are we talking about their predictions or something?
We're talking
what
about
are we even matching?
The teams that we pick are based more off what Hand Zeus believed are good teams than what Ed Edholm believes. Yeah.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Yes. So we agree more with Dan Hand Zeus, what it boils down to. And that's the power ranking.
Power ranking. Moving on to the next segment.
Next segment.
And also thank you again, by the way, because we're not the ones that come up with the power ranking stuff anymore, by the way.
Yeah, it's all Pixel. Thank you, Pixel.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? Wow. Where am I?
Bonus stats. Pick
bonus stats. Pick 'em
bonus
stats.
Next
bonus segment.
We're doing a bonus segment?
Bonus segment.
Let's go. What's our bonus segment?
Oh wait, fantasy football.
Oh yeah,
fantasy football.
Bonus segment, yeah.
And that's the fantasy football segment. Thank you.
No. I am currently in second place, 2-0. Second most points scored among the 2-0 people. Very good. After Yahoo gave me a D, I'm going to give Yahoo a D's nuts because I have gotten 2 A minuses in both my weeks. All right. Look at that.
I've moved up from 12th to 4th place with my victory over Apollo this week. I also managed to be the highest scoring in this week's game, so that felt pretty good coming from being lowest scoring last week. That'd be Apollo.
That was the second highest scoring player who beat every other player except the one he was playing.
Apollo does have the most points among all the 0-2 teams.
Yep.
I have more points than all of the fucking other teams too. I have more points than most of the 1-1 teams.
It's true.
I have almost the same amount of points as you, Gwendor.
It's true.
Well,
but
I just want to point out. I want to point out that I went up against the number 3 point scorer, who had only 5 less points than Apollo, and I got destroyed because it was Alvin Kamara with 44 points.
Yep.
And also, Evan Ingram got injured like moments before the game started.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't have any tight end.
So Master Profits Madmen remain at the top of our league with a 2-0 record and 278 points for. And then it's Crendor in second place and KJ Sandwich is in third spot. Last 2-0 player.
Feeling
next week, who do we got? Who's our draws next week? I got Torax Saints.
Who am I up against?
Crendor's going up against KJ.
Oh, 2-0 bad, dude. One of us can be 3-0.
Yeah, that's one of our undefeateds is going to go down. We got Apollo going up against Fees as fullbacks, and then Alpaca Attack against the Milwaukee Misfits. That'll be fun.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty easy.
All right, I'm scheduled to win according to Yahoo.
It's my turn to win.
I'm scheduled to win by a lot, and that I hate that.
I'm just glad nobody's thrown in the towel on the season yet.
I'm close.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so not to be late, it's not just about me being petty about losing, although it is definitely a little bit of that. What I noticed is that it was making me enjoy watching football a little bit less. Because like it happened during the Jets game because I like Breece Hall and I like the Jets. I want the Jets to win, and then Breece Hall scored a touchdown, and then I was mad because I'm playing against Breece Hall, and I'm like, I don't want that. That's negative energy that I don't need. I could be happy right now, and instead I'm mad. I don't like that.
I have like an opposite experience in that like fantasy is one of the very few things that's keeping me actively watching every week.
Yeah, honestly,
like, things to cheer for in the other games.
I like both.
I like watching all of it. I don't know how long I lasted last season. I think it was up until there was like a fucking Panthers and like Giants game or some shit.
Oh yeah.
But like I genuinely really enjoy watching every single game. So I've watched every game so far, and I'm gonna keep doing that because it's just I like it. I like it.
I like football.
Same. Same.
But
I do. But actually, to your points, though, the thing that I actually like about fantasy is what I used to have with Madden, where I got to know players' names that I wouldn't otherwise know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like because you know the QBs, you know maybe the wide receivers and the tight ends, but you're not like necessarily gonna know every like. Now I have a better understanding through the fantasy stuff, which is nice. It's cool.
Like I don't think I would know Achan as well as I do without fantasy. So there's a lot of players like that. Bonus stats.
Bonus stats.
The power
bonus
rankings.
Stats.
Bonus.
Pick profits. The power rankings are 25-7 so far this season.
Did we mention our rankings on the week, by the way?
I was going to do that
that's after
these.
The bonus stats.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, usually. All time, Ed is still slightly behind Dan. Hanzus, 65% win rate, 343, 183, and 2. Ed home, 191 and 113.
Hanzus is clearly better. I mean, I think that's obvious.
No doubt.
3% is huge.
Bird brained. Rob has the best record predicting games between two bird team themes. Team tongue twisters. Rob is 63%.
Let's go.
Discord 61. I'm 58. Bears 53. Apollo 52. And Randy 50%.
Oh, that makes sense because I have a degree in bird law. So.
And Randy's a coin.
That's also true. Yeah. Well, no, actually, technically, Randy is a series of zeros and ones.
That's true. It's
He hasn't ever been a coin.
But he's a coin.
He's been a picture of a coin. Yeah, exactly.
So he is a coin in ways.
In our hearts, he's a coin.
Yeah, in our hearts. Yeah. A minor issue. Vikings 49er games have been notoriously hard to predict, with only Randy having a winning record of 2-1, Bear 1-2, and the rest of us winless.
That's hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It doesn't happen that often.
It does not. I think it's because we all picked the 49ers, and then the Vikings the last 2 times have won, or I guess 3 times.
Yeah.
Krendor, Prime Stakes remains perfect, predicting Texans games in prime time. 6-0.
Wow.
Nice.
No, 6-0, 2-0, and 2-0.
Oh, wait.
So 10-0.
10-0. Dude.
And the Texans were 7-3 in those games. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Look at that. All right. There's my wacky wild stat that I'm good at.
Texans in prime time. We'll have to remember that.
Texans. Yep. Yeah. When's the next Texans prime time? It's got to be.
It's pretty soon, I imagine, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I'll look into it for you. You keep going with these bonus
next
stats.
week, not the week after, not the week after that either, not the week.
Oh, wait. I think we got a
either.
Sunday Night Football on November 10th
Okay.
versus the Lions.
Mark it down.
Far away.
October 31st. They play the Jets.
Oh.
Halloween. Is that Halloween? Go. Halloween night?
Oh no.
Texans and Jets?
That's cursed.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh my god, it is a Thursday night Halloween game.
That's gonna be a spooky game.
That'll be. I hope they dress up. They should have the players dress in spooky uniforms.
That's true. Aaron Rodgers can dress as himself. And then that's all I got. Then we have Fins or Foes. Apollo and Bear agree on 78% of Dolphins games and are 34-15 when agreeing. 69%. Nice. When they disagree, Apollo's usually right. 10-4.
Not nice.
Nice.
Less nice.
Yeah. And speaking of nice, the overall statistics, I went 11-6, which was the best somehow.
Yep.
Then Rob 8-9, Bear 10-7, which was second best. Apollo 9-8, Randy 5-12. Oof. He also ended his Bear streak of picking Bears games correctly.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Discord 9-8, and Bloodvinder went 7-10. So
I lost my luck.
Yep. So Bears currently first ahead of Discord. Then
Woo.
I'm in third, one game ahead of Rob, and the assistant coaches are ahead of Apollo, who's only above Randy.
Not doing so.
So Bear is more powerful than democracy.
Yes.
Yes.
Is what we've learned.
I feel like we've known that.
And now it's time to pick them.
Pick 'em.
Burger!
Big 'em.
Moving on to the next segment.
Shout out to this week's assistant coach of the week. I simp for Randy. Of course, I simp, you simp, we all simp for Randy.
Yep.
You can be an assistant coach of the week and have your picks featured on the show. If you go over to patreon.com/3guysandbear, just search 3 Guys and a Bear on Patreon. You can become an assistant week for the
Money.
Give us your money.
No, seriously, thank you though.
Thank you.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank you. We open up the week with a banger of a game. Patriots Jets Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, last year this was the worst game ever of all time, and this year it's actually not horrible. So an improvement. This is Aaron Rodgers' home opener, so this is getting him back to the turf where he tore his Achilles or whatever it was.
Yep.
Oh,
I am sticking with my 0-17 Patriots spite picks, despite having evidence to support that they may actually be kind of good this year. But I'm going with the Jets.
Well, they did win, also. Remember?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. The Jets. Yep.
So they can't go 0-17.
I know, but still, in my mind.
Oh yeah.
I think I want to believe in the Jets. I do. It's not Belichick anymore, Rob. It's Mailman.
It is Mailman.
I like that.
I think that it's just that look. I'm a fan of the Jets. All right, I'm expecting this. This would be very embarrassing for Aaron Rodgers to come here and lose to the Jets at home, or lose.
He loses to the Jets.
It would be very embarrassing if he lost to the Jets.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. But if he loses to the Patriots at home with a rookie head coach in his first game against the Patriots, it'd be bad.
Yep.
Which makes it much more likely to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pick the Jets. However, I think this game will be very telling of what kind of team this is.
Yeah. If Ramondre Stevenson gets like 250 yards and 3 touchdowns, then I'm not gonna believe in the Jets anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
even if
everyone knows what the Patriots are gonna do. They are going to run the ball. The Jets have been bad against it, so
yeah.
If the obvious thing that happens, then the Jets did not game plan very well.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Jets just to cheer for the Jets.
Nice. Thank you.
But I also kind of don't believe in them, but I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Giants Browns.
Don't make me pick the fucking Browns, man.
I ain't doing it, dude. Go Giants. Go G-Men.
You know what? I think the Giants got to win a game. So I'll say it's this one.
Shout out to I Simp for Randy with the Giants pick, a real one.
Nice.
I'm going to pick the Browns, but I'm going to do it because then I hope they lose, because I like picking the team I don't like in hopes that I lose. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I still want them to lose, and I want Deshaun Watson to break every bone in his body that's possible to be broken in one tackle.
Right.
But yeah, I'm going to pick them.
All right.
I will go with the New York Football Giants.
Yay!
Because I don't want the Browns to win.
I'm not gonna feel good about this 1v4.
Yeah.
Well, no, the Discord's gonna pick the Browns. Come on.
Oh, right.
There's still a part of me that thinks the Giants are gonna win. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean
they could win.
Is really good.
Yeah, and the Browns are really shitty, so it's highly possible that they lose.
I just think that Daniel Jones is gonna get sacked 1 million times by Myles Garrett, probably.
Yeah.
Eagles Saints.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I think the
real
Saints
game,
magic ends today. I will pick the Eagles.
I'm going Saints.
I'm also going Saints because the Eagles burned me on my fucking lock last week, so they can suck my balls.
Fair enough.
Oh boy, this is hard. My gut's saying I gotta go Eagles. I'm gonna go Eagles.
All right.
I think I still believe in them.
I simp for Andy, also an Eagles.
Are Saints bird themed?
No, Not at all.
Firmly not.
Well, I mean, he's got doves and stuff, right? Like that's
which is not a saint.
Well, I mean, maybe they should make a dove a saint.
Occasionally adjacent to.
Well, have they considered cutting out the middleman and just going right to the dove? I mean,
The New Orleans Doves? I don't know, man. That might not work too well in the marketing.
Texans, Vikings.
Texans, go Texans.
I don't know. It's Darnold season.
Good game.
I'll go Texans.
I think I want the Texans, and so I want to pick the Vikings because I want the Texans to win. I think Jefferson's injured. We don't know if he's going to play. He's day to day, so I'm going to take the Texans.
Yeah,
I think he might skip this game just to make sure he's not.
I sent for Randy with the 1v4.
Wow.
Yep.
Damn.
You know what? He respects the Darnold season. I'm just gonna say I'm picking the Texans, but I'm gonna be rooting for the Vikings.
Yeah, I feel you.
I will be cheering for the Texans and picking the Texans.
Fair.
Yep. I also need the Vikings to lose so the Packers can gain ground.
Yeah.
It's important. Funny enough, I sim for Randy is 8-8, 50% on the season, so they really are just like Randy.
Real toss up, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
actually
they just
awesome.
flipped a
I didn't even see
coin.
that.
Very
maybe.
impressive.
They may have just flipped a coin.
I mean, it's hard to go 50-50 if you're trying. So
yeah,
like,
it really is.
Broncos, Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
This is a Bucks lock for my sim for Randy.
Wow.
I think that's
not a
totally
bad idea.
reasonable.
I was thinking about it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
The Bucks are good.
possible.
The Broncos are bad. Like
We
Yeah.
definitely got a Bucks sweep here at the very least. It's just
Yeah,
a
it's
matter of
Bucks.
whether or not anybody wants to come back and lock it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Packers, Titans.
Packed.
Go Pack.
Packers. This is the Malik Willis revenge game, dude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's go.
Titans are pretty bad.
You thinking about it?
Yeah, I don't think this is as I mean,
The Packers do have a backup QB.
it's a backup QB, and wow, Will Levis looks so bad though. Yeah, I guess I'll go Packers, but I think this is like a weird trap game somehow now.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see it. Let me tell you a fun stat. The Packers have 7 interceptions this year. Guess how many they had last year in total?
8.
8, yeah.
9.
No.
So in 2 games, we almost have as many as last year. Joe Barry, everyone.
Yep.
And we got actual like decent players from drafting and free agency.
That's a Packers sweep too. Sim for Randy also went Pack.
I trust more in the fact that our defense has played better and the LaFleur coaching system than I do in the Titans.
Right.
Will Levis is going to do some dumb shit. That's really what I'm banking on.
Yeah, I could see that.
Bears, Colts.
Colts.
No faith in either of these teams anymore, but a little bit more faith in the Colts.
Yeah, I mean Anthony Richardson, I think, is still really good.
I don't know. I watched him, and he was not that great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, he did have his
he's-
guys drop a lot of passes and stuff.
I'll
Yeah.
go. I think I'm going
I
to
don't know
pick
if
the
that's a team.
Colts. I'm going to pick the Colts.
Okay.
I was thinking about it though.
Dude, I almost want to take the Bears, and I hate that I want to take the Bears, so I'm not going to. I'm going to take the Colts.
Let's go.
Yeah, I
Good fuck
do think the
Bears.
Bears can win this game, though. But then again, the Colts' run defense is their biggest issue, and the Bears can't run the ball, so that's kind of weird. So I'm going Colts. Chargers, Steelers.
Chargers.
I'm going Steelers, man.
Oh.
Steelers historically don't do well against really good like pocket passers, you know.
Mm.
I'm going to go Chargers.
I think I'm going to go Chargers. I don't think.
Wow, this is
Yeah,
a very surprising 1v4 for me.
I think
Yeah.
it's close. I think this is going to be a great game, but I still don't know if I believe in the Steelers' offense enough to score enough points to beat the Chargers, who I think will
That's
score
where
some
I'm at.
points.
Yeah.
You
I
have
think
set
the
yourself up
Steelers-
to have a silver lining either way, so that's good.
I
I
do
think
like
the
doing that.
Steelers' defense is gonna be a problem for Justin Herbert and the Chargers'
Yes.
offense.
But I don't know
But I
how
think-
good or bad the O-line is on the Chargers. That's something that if they have a bad
Mm.
O-line, then I'd be picking the Steelers because they're not gonna be able to
Good
do
point.
anything. But I
I mean,
don't
Herbert
know.
was like the most sacked dude for a while, right?
Yeah.
Or one of them. So But I think read that the Chargers have a better O-line so far this year, but it's only 2 games, so I don't know. And it's Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh's coming to
I would
town.
just be
That's
shocked if the
thing.
Steelers start 3-0. That would just shock me. So
Yeah.
they're a 9-8, 10-7 team, so they have to start losing some games.
That's actually what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Unless Justin Fields awakens. What's happening with Russell Wilson, by the way?
He's
Unknown.
hurt, kind of.
Well, he's hurt, maybe. We don't really know.
Yeah.
He was hurt, but we've won 2 games, so maybe he's still a little hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just they're like, you're hurt, and he's like, okay.
mean,
although I feel like they would just say he's ready to back up Justin now. He's healthy.
That's not the Tomlin way, brother.
It might not. Yeah, it might also not be the thing that Russell Wilson wants to.
That's
be
true. They're just like, yeah, he's hurt because they don't want him to like.
Yeah, you don't want to
he
like
sucks,
be like we
so
benched
he's not
him.
starting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dolphins Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dolphins are a mess. Seahawks.
Yeah.
That's a very surprising Dolphins choice for myself for Randy, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Gino's season. That's the one.
Yes, that's right.
Panthers.
It's
Raiders.
late. It's late. All right. This is bedtime for me.
Panthers. Raiders.
Raiders.
Raiders. Yeah.
Raiders.
Uh-oh.
Thinking about it.
No, I said I'm never picking them again, so I have to. It's Raiders. Yeah.
Raiders.
I hate that I've like 3 or 4 times really thought about it and still picked the obvious choice. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I thought about it for a second, but then I was
Yeah.
It's late. Come on.
49ers Rams.
Lock in the Niners.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good decision.
Just Niners.
Yeah, I'm taking the Niners.
I already know what I'm locking, brother, and it wasn't that game.
Lions Cardinals.
Cards look good.
I'm kind of tempted to go Cards here, dude.
I'm gonna pick the Lions though. I'm gonna continue my belief in them that they are a good team.
I'm gonna take the Lions.
Injured though.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
No, I still believe in the Lions.
And the Cards have Marvin Harrison Jr., who has just like the sleeper has awoken. The Kwisatz Haderach is alive.
I'm gonna go Cardinals.
Lisan Al Gaib.
I'm gonna join you with the Cards as well. There, yeah, I'm going. Cards.
Yeah, I'm also gonna take the Cards.
Let's go. AC went Lions.
Ravens Cowboys.
I'm locking the Ravens.
Whoa!
Wow, you're locking the Ravens.
I'm locking the 0-2 Ravens.
I want to see how much power I really have.
Yeah.
Can I get this team to 0-3? You guys don't know how fucking much I would love to see the Ravens go like 0-5, but 0-3 is good enough.
Ooh, I want to take the opportunity to maybe get a 3-game swing on you in the standings here. I think I'm gonna go with the boys.
Oh,
I'm gonna go Ravens.
All right.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
What are the Cowboys are 1-1?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll go Ravens.
All right. Chiefs Falcons.
Chiefs.
Oh no.
Oh.
The Chiefs didn't look particularly great last week.
If you're gonna keep doing this, you
fine.
can't keep teasing us. You gotta do it.
I mean, hey, I got 2 1v4s already this week. Okay, I'm not going that crazy. What was the week 1 Chiefs game again? It was Chiefs Ravens, and Chiefs just kind of Chiefs.
The birds. They're bird killers.
It sucks because I want the Chiefs to lose. I don't like them. But you know what?
Do it.
Give me the Falcons. I'll do it.
Wow.
I'll do it. I'm either gonna make up some ground or just tank this entire pick'em season.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we got 2 Monday games.
It is a double Monday night header.
Oh, I'm gonna forget. You guys gotta remind me on Monday.
Jaguars, Bills.
They're very easy games to pick. I will take the Bills.
Oh yeah, Bills. Yeah, that's almost lockable, honestly.
Yeah, I think I might lock the Bills. Let's go ahead and lock the Bills
Pendor's
here.
suspiciously quiet,
folks.
Mm.
The Jaguars are coming alive this week.
Oh no!
It's a Jacksonville Jaguar win.
Oh, no,
my
Krendor.
God, that
Is that better or worse than my Falcons pick?
That's
What
way
possesses you to
worse.
do these things, my
That's
friend.
I mean the
Jaguars
the
win.
Falcons at least have things going for them.
This is.
Jaguars win.
I'm gonna
this
be
one.
real impressed with this one if you get it, man. I'm gonna go ahead and keep that
Yeah.
Bills lock go.
All right. And then Commanders, Bengals.
Bengals.
Bengals
Have gotta fucking win
I'm
this,
going to
man.
You
lock
Come on.
can't lose.
the
Okay, that makes
Bengals.
sense,
Yeah, that's
Locking
a
those
Bengals sweep
Bengals.
from
That's a
Simp as
solid-
well, who also
yeah.
went Bills. There you
Let's
go.
see what Randy's
Yeah.
got.
Randy.
Randy.
Randy's got the Jets.
The Jets.
Randy's got the Browns.
No.
Oh, Randy.
Randy's got the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Vikings.
Okay.
I said Darnold season.
The Broncos.
Randy.
The Packers.
Mhm.
The Bears.
Okay.
The Chargers.
Sure.
The Dolphins.
Randy.
Randy,
Gotta
come on,
pay attention to the news,
He
buddy.
picked the Panthers.
Randy.
Oh boy, the
Randy.
Rams. He picked the
Randy.
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 Classic Randy.
Lions. Randy.
Mhm.
Picked Lions. He picked Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Falcons.
Oh, wow. He's
Randy.
got a heck of a week lined up.
Jaguars.
Oh,
Do it. Pick the
Randy.
Commanders.
And the Bengals.
Oh,
We got a
Fuck you,
3-13
Randy.
weekend in store
Yeah.
for Randy.
Randy is locking. Oh, Jesus. Oh, wait, no, okay. He locked the Bears.
Oh.
Okay.
For a
Wow.
second, I
Alright.
thought he locked the Broncos.
Oh.
I was like, oh boy.
A bold
I mean, he
choice.
went 5-12 last week, so
That he did.
Maybe
Well-
maybe this is that classic crazy week 3 where Randy just beats all
Right.
of us.
It
Yeah.
might be. But that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Patreon. All the patrons. up
Thank you,
here.
patrons.
thank you,
Patrons.
patrons.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.